why dissemination is so important beyond what we just said? Because first of all, we need to support the EU view, okay? We need to comply contractual obligations. And we need to make sure, and we need to convince ourselves that the dissemination will be beneficial for the project and for the consortium, which is not obvious. First of all, to support the EU view is very clear. I mean, they pay, and somehow we need to be online with what they want to disseminate. This is extremely important. And it's their view, and you will see in the next slide that from the EU point of view, dissemination is an extremely important asset of the project. I don't know if you have been involved for many years. I've been involved for more than 20 years, and I remember, and I may share with some of my colleagues, about 10 years ago, all the dissemination issues were basic, minimal. You were working in your project, doing your research or whatever, and then you will make some conference, maybe at the end, an article here and there, but there was practically no control of that. Now it's essential. It's essential. The Commission is really, really demanding in terms of we want to see your dissemination plan written in 2 months, and we want a lot of activities in terms of dissemination. So why is it so important? Because the European Commission is more and more keen to show to the Europeans the results of their investment, which is Europeans' investment, is the citizens' investment, okay, of the programs. So they want to show how their research is contributing to the innovation union and justify the public spending. They want to show also that European exists, and thanks to the collaboration, all this policy, you may say blah blah type of thing, but this is essential. When they go to the parliament to get the money for the EU funding, they need to justify this. And they need to show the results of the previous program, okay? And apparently they do it quite well. They keep increasing the money, taking into account the crisis. So this is important, and this is based on the dissemination of the different projects. It's clear. So, showing the outcomes are relevant to the citizens, etc., etc., and also creating new business and job opportunities with the projects that get later on in companies, spin-offs, etc., okay? And then all that translates into a compromise, formal compromise in our contract to do this, to disseminate based on this criteria. What does it mean? That we need to have that into account when we prepare our dissemination plan. Although we may not be political, we don't care about the impact in citizens, this is an extremely important issue, okay? Then, it's an obligation. You need to do this in the proposals. Now we are talking when you submit your idea. In the proposals, you need to explain the details about the dissemination plan. Although you still don't know what's going to happen in some cases in research, you need to. And then when the proposal is funded, it's a contractual obligation what you propose. And then there is a very important thing. There is extremely direct relation between what you disseminate or what you say you will disseminate and the program you are applying to, okay? The more research program is, the more the dissemination has to be focused in the interest of that program. So if you are in an applied program, if you are in innovation and not so much in research, you need to read carefully, not just what is the project, the program is asking for at the code level, but also what is the main objective of that specific directorate. Because for them, and they look through that, the evaluators have to go through and say, okay, is the dissemination plan or is the consortium addressing the key issues of the program in terms of policies? Even if you don't like it, you get a professional of your team to do it, but this is extremely important. Because when you prepare the proposal, as you know, the expected impact is a critical issue when the evaluation. And one of the key elements of the impact is the dissemination plan, because if there is no good dissemination, it's very difficult to have an impact. There is a correlation. And keep in mind that if you submit a proposal in innovation, impact is the first criteria more than the quality of the research. And you may be surprised, but this is it. Okay, when two proposals are the same, the one that has a higher level in impact score, the higher score, is the one that passes. And impact directly relates with dissemination. And they have to be, the dissemination has to be part of your proposal, okay? Remember that, please, and don't, normally what you do when you prepare a proposal, you give the dissemination at the last minute, etc. Please keep in mind, the first evaluations in H 2020, they are showing that, many projects, they couldn't care less about all these silly things. And then they come the evaluators and okay, these people don't think about going out, they are endogamic, there is no impact, you will do a great job and nobody will know about it, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so keep that in mind. Then, during the life of the project, you have already a contractual obligation that is translated into clear terms. The Commission obliges you to provide periodically published summaries. So your project has a contractual obligation of produce this because they will be published, either by you or by the Commission. Then you also, as you know very well, probably if you have been involved in projects, you need to have a project website, the month 2 or month 3. Okay? And also LinkedIn, profile, Twitter, Facebook, everything, okay? They want that right from the beginning. That's important. And then this is taken from the Commission documents to take appropriate measures to engage with the audience and the media about the project and to highlight the financial support from EU once again. Okay? If you don't do that, okay, you give us the money, this is ours, we are, public administrations, we are very important. The Commission keeps saying, please don't forget, and don't forget to mention that we are there, we pay for it, and follow our policies, so be coherent with our policies, the Commission policies. Okay, so we need, in this context, to keep updating our dissemination plan. We cannot prepare it at the beginning of the project and let it die or let it go for 2-3 years. It's lively. So if there are changing policies, if the consortium keeps moving, changing, identifying new objectives, you need to keep that thing updated because it's an important part of the project. And we need, of course, to make sure that we are very active. And then, from the consortium point of view, this is from the Commission side, I really believe that a good, effective dissemination and communication strategy shared by all the partners really is a good way of selling your project for the future. It's clear that for some partners, the project ends at the end of the funding, okay? But this is not what the Commission wants. So some partners may act that way, but in the overall, the consortium has to try, to do things in this way. So keep in mind that this is going to continue. It may continue with another project. Okay, selling the project, maybe selling the project to the Commission, to the next call. But in any case, we have to sell. One way or another. When I say sell, it sounds really, commercial, but it's simply present, explain, convince, okay? Then, we are generating with our dissemination a demand for things that are known, for example, for the market. We also need to look at from the local, national, and European point of view and draw the attention of our work because they may support us in the future. There is another important factor, and if you have experience with you, synergies. People you meet, organizations you work with in European projects, gives you a visibility and gives you a personal view also, much wider. So any dissemination activity that helps to create these synergies with other projects, initiatives, people, institutions, is going to be beneficial for everybody. And it's something that all partners should keep in mind. The idea that an European project is more just the work of 6, 7, 10 partners, but the capacity, the possibility of spreading and dissemination is the tool. And that helps to enhance the visibility and, of course, facilitates the next steps, the exploitation and dissemination.